Let's go. Here we are. Welcome to the show. To put the sounds up. That's what I forgot to do. Welcome to the show. Why don't we do this live, Roy? We do this live.
This isn't. If JR can call the pay-per-view on Sunday all in instead of all out, we can pull sounds up.
Or blatantly say that Punk looks like he's tired and doesn't sleep well.
Well, that makes I didn't mind that. That makes sense.
He looks exactly the same. He's talking about the bags.
He's got the bags gimmick going for.
Yeah, I know, but don't call attention to how he's always looked like that. Man, wait, hold on, Roy. This is Loser Leaves Wrestling. This is the Woos and Whats of AEW Dynamite. My name is Red, and I'm here with Hammer, Roy Hammer. What were you going to say, Roy?
I'm happy to be here. I'm so excited to be here. I missed last week. Never again. I'm never missing another one because when I miss it, I feel like I'm out of the loop, and I hate being out of the loop.
No, I get it, dog. I get it. One of the great thing is about like Dynamite, you really feel like you missed something.
Yeah. Isn't that so fun?
You really feel like you missed something. Starting to feel that way about Monday Night Raw.
Look, I've been watching more of the show. It's fine. I don't feel like I'm missing anything. I don't think it's bad.
There.
Yeah, it's getting there. Yeah.
And it's fun to see the changes. It's fun to see the changes.
It is. I kind of like Ciampa and The Miz together.
I do too. And I'm liking Dexter Loomis. Okay, we have to. This is AEW. Shit. Yes. Oh, we're okay. We're gonna get them riled up. Chica Marks writes, JR called it all in. Question mark.
Yeah, big time. Right in the beginning of the show. If you get a chance to go to YouTube and look at Wrestling with Regret, the guy who does Wrestling with Regret did an excellent video on the Summer of Punk from 2011 and how WWE fucked it all up. It's really good. It's good.
That's interesting. I would like to check that out. I need to check them out. You keep talking about them.
Yeah, it's good.
And they seem like
it's really easy. They review so many mid-2000s WWE pay-per-views that I never want to go back and watch. So I can watch his 15-minute review and feel like I saw the show. It's great.
It's beautiful.
But what a show tonight. What a show tonight.
We have we start off the night with Jon Moxley coming out. Old Wild Thing himself.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, ask one.
Overall, did you sense something a little different tonight about like the presentation of the show? Because I noticed a difference in something.
I definitely felt it was tighter.
Okay. Yeah.
I felt like they got more in without it looking messy.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And yes, we'll get into this as the show goes on. But one thing that I wanted to call out is that they turned the announcers down and they turned the audience up, which I think is great.
Oh, I didn't notice that, but that's great.
Yeah. The audience was like overwhelming the whole night, and it was great. Early Dynamite shows, like the first couple of months, were like that, where you could hear the announcers, sure, but like you hear the crowd is almost louder than the announcers, and it makes the show feel that much more exciting.
That's very interesting because I noticed some other production things that happened today. Like at the start of the show, they're standing in front of the desk with the ring in the background, WCW style.
Yeah.
They're usually sitting down at the desk facing the wall, and they're like, no, let's show the audience. So they show the whole crowd. I think that's very smart, very WCW.
Yeah.
What do you attribute to this change? Is this the
I think
Triple H?
I was funny because did you see in our Discord, in the LLW Discord, everyone feel free to join. Mose, longtime friend of the show, Mose, posted a YouTube video of Kevin Nash on his new podcast talking about AEW because I guess he got a fan question that's like, what do you think of AEW? And he's like, kind of feels like Thunder to me. WCW Thunder. And I feel like Tony Khan heard that and he was like, fuck you. I'm going to change that. So he makes the show feel more exciting with like
more like Thunder, more like Nitro.
More like Nitro than Thunder. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's pretty funny. That's actually very funny. But yeah, I like that, and they definitely were loud. The crowd was very loud. We have some comments here. Joe writes, Brian Zane for the win. Who's Brian Zane?
Brian Zane is Wrestling with Regret.
Oh, okay, gotcha. We should all check that out.
That's what check out.
Oh, Turb says LL Dub. No sounds
Turby's
yet.
Here.
Joe writes, is wrestling commercial overviews and reviews of garbage wrestler movers is great too. Well, we should definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's good. It's all good.
But wait, we get this Moxley coming out thing, and he's talking about how like
this was great.
Yeah, it was amazing. Moxley was saying how he thought that CM Punk was the 60-minute man. Yeah. Well, I still had 57 more minutes left in me. Really good. Punk looking for a way out, and he folded and died. Weak mind, weak spirit. These are just some of the highlights. And then he's like, I got a contract here with it's a blank contract.
Yeah.
Anyone that wants it can come get it. Folks. And he throws it down and he does his whole thing and fire promo. But then he's standing up and the ring in the background. We see Dave Steele. I mentioned them standing up, ring in the background. I don't know. I mentioned that. And then Dave Steele comes out. Ace Steele.
Dave Steele. I feel like we worked with Dave Steele.
Ace Steele comes down and he takes the contract. What is he going to do with this, Roy? We should just talk about the whole thing right now because I was pretty disappointed with how it happened, but also happy in a sense.
Disappointed with what happened?
I don't know. I guess I was playing fanfic as soon as it happened.
Yeah.
As soon as Ace Steele took it, I went in the Discord just like, MJF's return, maybe.
Yeah. We've also been talking about that all day. Like all of us think that MJF is somehow going to be involved in all of this. He has to be. There's no choice.
And that would have been a perfect way. That would have been a perfect way. One of his cronies just literally lights. I am signed it. I'm not I'm still your wrestler. You could do with me as you please, but I have to still have a microphone.
Right.
Like I think that's kind of would be good.
I think just to backtrack for a second, yes, Moxley's promo was excellent, and I think it wasn't just excellent from like a Moxley perspective, like, oh, a wrestler cut a good promo. He had to go out there to open the show and not only build himself up, but build the title up, build whatever match he's going to have. He needed to build it all up. He needed to like tread this fine line between babyface and heel because he's in Chicago. It's Punk's town. So like everybody loves him, but he also has to shit all over Punk because we all know it's going to be Punk.
It was great.
He did such a good job.
He did a masterful job.
Twice
he did.
Twice.
He came 100%. Out again. We'll just talk about that too. He came out again and should we just talk about everything right here? I guess let's just talk about the whole
saga.
Or should we hold off? What do you think?
Well, okay, look, let's hold off because we're gonna get to the segment and then.
But essentially,
so much
when Ace Steele came out,
he takes the contract.
So he takes that. Let's not even talk about it yet. Let's not even talk about it.
We just see Ace Steele Dave Steele take the contract.
Dave Steele. We see Tony. We have some comments here. We have to get to these. Turb says, "I wish they would have kept up the routine of JR being off commentary and halfway through the evening." I agree.
Yeah.
But honestly, he didn't do too bad of a job tonight.
He did okay.
Woodsy the Beast says, I'll join the Discord if Roy admits Triple H is making WWE better than AEW. That's
Woodsy.
How bad do you want them in the Discord?
Where do you stand?
How bad, Roy?
Where do you stand?
Joe writes, Woodsy the Beast, best be careful. I jokingly profess my love for Triple H on the Discord and get my head ripped off regularly. Lol.
That's the kind of crowd you're a part of.
He's got you pegged.
Look, I'm not saying I think Triple H is doing a good job. I think he's doing an excellent job. But if we also hey, Woodsy, you CM Punk fan? Because you should go back and watch this Summer of Punk 2011 thing and watch how Triple H destroyed CM Punk.
Triple H did it, huh?
Triple H, watch it. Watch the thing.
Triple H is the one who signed off on it. Okay.
I'm just saying, I think you don't think Triple H, if he was like, I don't think we should do it this way. You think Vince would be like, hey, fuck you, pal? I think Vince would be like, all right, you're right, Triple H. Let's work on it. Triple H was like, hell yeah, let's bury this fucker.
All I'm saying is, when he has the book in his hands, things are nice.
Good. Yeah, things are nice. Don't get me wrong.
He'll do what's best for business.
Yeah. Now. But when he's wrestling, I don't know about that. When he's involved in the storyline, Booker T probably should have won at WrestleMania 19. I don't know.
Maybe that wasn't his choice.
But what I'm going to say, I'm excited for Clash at the Castle. I'm excited to watch that pay-per-view this weekend.
I'm excited
to watch it.
It's going to be very exciting. But we have to keep moving on. We can't talk about WWE forever, even though we will on the Weekly Wrestle. Brett Pendleton says, feels like the next logical MJF return spot is the Joker in the ladder match.
No.
He wins, has the title shot in his pocket.
No.
Please don't curse us with that.
I have different ideas for that ladder match.
Turby, do not curse us.
Mo said it in the Discord. Somebody puts the ring on CM Punk's finger, and that is how CM Punk beats Jon Moxley at the pay-per-view.
You mean
and that someone is MJF. MJF, dressed as a security guard, I added this part, most didn't say this, dressed as a security guard, puts the ring on CM Punk's finger, just like Wardlow put the ring on Punk's finger to beat MJF. MJF puts the ring on Punk's finger, Punk knocks out Moxley, Punk wins the title. MJF and Punk are together.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't know.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. Maybe.
I wish.
Maybe.
I wish.
Turb says maybe they even have a different Joker actually come out, and he runs out from behind them and knocks them out and takes their place, a la Moxley on Nice a few weeks ago. Maybe. I like the idea of maybe someone winning that thing and then him just buying the ring off.
Sure.
And he's like, now I have the ring. And now I have a future title match because I bought the title or whatever.
Well, my whole thing with that ladder match, and this is like totally uninspired, I guess, compared to MJF being the Joker. You know who I think the Joker is? Darius Martin. And that sounds crazy, but if you look at the ladder match, it's Blackpool Combat Club, it's Lucha Brothers, it's Rushin Andrade, and it's Dante Martin. It's all tag teams. They're all
honestly,
tag teams.
That would be a good way to do it. Actually, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that, and I think that's a good idea.
Him or Samoa Joe, one or the other.
No, I'm not mad at that. And I think none of us are mad at that. Good job. Good job, Roy. Joe writes, Triple H booked Raw in 2011? Question mark. Joe
You gotta
writes,
watch it, Joe. You gotta watch it.
Joe writes, news to me. Mose writes, woo, time to get nasty. Red lives in a bubble. I live in a bubble. I'm the one that lives in a bubble. Joe writes, I've said it before and I'll say it again. MJF aligning with Punk makes no sense. Heel or face, they should always be mortal enemies. No.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
I do think I don't mind the idea of them siding with each other. I don't mind the idea of MJF siding with Punk and Punk taking whatever he can get. Punk is desperate. MJF wants to see the world burn. MJF is Joker right now.
Couldn't you see CM Punk in the middle of the ring in all of his like turn of phrases and all the thing he says being like, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. Keep your friends closer, but your enemies even closer. Whatever that phrase is.
Or the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Showtime's tonight. That's Sting.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, CM Punk's going to turn into Sting. CM Punk has done everything he can do as a babyface. It's time to turn heel.
Tony's in the chat. Boom, boom. Tony writes, I don't know. I'll be sad if Punk wins. Moxley is too strong at the moment.
Incredible right now.
I don't want Moxley to lose. Mose writes, Roy wins on all counts with a clean boy haircut. Good job on Roy's haircut.
Thank you so much.
Everyone give a...
I went to a female-owned barbershop, owned and operated. Got my hair cut by a gal named Haley. It was fantastic.
Great job,
I
Haley.
recommend.
Everyone, give Haley
if you have hair.
Wicked sick
haircut. Let's keep moving on, Roy. We have to keep moving on.
We got to keep rolling.
Because
for the first segment.
We just now getting to Tony with Chris Jericho. Tony Schiavone with Chris Jericho. And he's like, Stu and Owen may have thought you were a better wrestler, but they'd be more impressed with me and my accomplishments. And all that's supposed, they were more impressed, whatever. Daniel Garcia walks up and he apologizes, Roy.
Yeah, I didn't like this.
I shouldn't have done that. The crowd's shocked that he's doing this. You hear them, which is awesome too. You're right about that. Heard them throughout this. And he's like very sad he did it. And Jericho accepts his apology, moves forward. But he says, Roy, you could take out Danielson without the help of anyone. You don't need to do anything cheap or dirty. You could just win on your own merit, Chris. I believe in you. And that's what Daniel Garcia said.
It's weird. I think it's all really weird. I don't know. I understand why they did this because you kind of have to. I'm trying to add a light here so I'm a little brighter. I understand why they did this, but it doesn't. It wasn't executed super well, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think it's bless his heart. Danny Garcia
I thought Danny Garcia was great, but I didn't think he was. It wasn't needed.
He's not comfortable with this.
Sure.
He's not there yet. No, you're doing great. But we get this will lead into this right now. Bryan Danielson versus Jake Hager in a great match.
Yeah. This is probably Hager's best match in AEW.
Yeah. And Hager, like, honestly, like it's been a while since I saw Danielson really fight from underneath. And that's when I like him the most, when he's like super overpowered, overmatched. Yep. Like I love his Brock Lesnar match. I think his Brock Lesnar match may have been the best Brock Lesnar match.
Him and AJ is a close second. And him and Punk also.
I have to watch that one with him and Punk again.
That might be Punk's best match ever, honestly. The Cena match is also incredible, and he's had
the ending fucks with it.
The ending of the Lesnar Punk match?
Cena.
The Punk Cena match.
Lesnar Cena.
Lesnar. Oh, I don't know anything. Which one?
The street fight.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about Punk.
I thought you said Lesnar Cena.
The Lesnar, yeah, that's terrible. But when Lesnar falls out of the ring in that match, classic.
It's great. No, it's a great match. It's just the ending fucked up.
Yeah, the ending,
what do we have here? Roy is all elite. Mose writes, the boy and the hero is gold. Tony said that you're all elite. Joe writes, Tony would be the one to say it. They have the ability. Joe writes, even if they are both heels, they should always hate each other. That's the kind of crap I always hated in WWE. Just because you change sides doesn't make you friends. No, but I'm just saying Punk would find a very cool, interesting reason to be friends with MJF. And MJF just doesn't care.
Well, remember, like, rated RKO, Randy Orton and Edge, they became friends for some reason. They could become friends.
Joe said he hated that. He hates that about WWE.
Yeah, sure.
Brooklyn Bleak says Jericho took a whole week to come up with that response. Yeah, it took a while. That was I don't know. I don't like this Lion Tamer thing as much. I like that he's wrestling well, but Lionheart. I wish he was more on the wizard thing. The wizard thing was much more fun.
I like him a lot more in these like sparkly bell bottoms. Than the Lionheart thing was cool as a one-off, but I don't like that he's doing it back to back. He should have probably saved the Lionheart for Danielson and not done it against Moxley.
Yeah, I agree. Because it makes for a good Lionheart versus American Dragon.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Mose writes, Tony plus X plus Taz. I feel I will no, but Tony X
Schiavone.
dash Taz. Yeah,
Tony
I know,
Schiavone,
but like I get that, but like I just don't understand. I will see the Judas effect for my thoughts. I will feel the Judas effect for my thoughts. You are leaving a riddle, Mose.
Mose
there's no way to decide. Yeah, Mose loves riddles. Tony writes, Danielson will make Jericho look like a superstar. But Jericho is a superstar.
Yeah, it's true too.
Let's not get it confused. Mose writes, Hager's best match. Yeah, I think we could agree.
Yeah, definitely.
And Brooklyn Bleak says in AEW, and we, probably. But I'm sure he's had a good match in WWE. Him versus Christian.
Also
him
with
versus
Danielson. Honestly.
Maybe. But we get that. But right after that, we get
the Wardlow, Jake Hager Lions Den match was memorable.
Was there a Lions Den match?
Yeah, but they didn't call it a Lions Den. It was just like an MMA cage match, and it was terrible. It wasn't good.
Was it bad?
Yeah, it was like
I can't remember
fake.
this at all.
It was weird. It was really.
I should watch that again. Let's all watch it together.
But
after Danielson hits the psycho knee on Hager and gets the pin, 2.0 come down to beat down Bryan Danielson. Then Claudio and Yuta come out. They all clear house. Then Jericho runs down with a chair. He's going to hit Danielson, but Daniel Garcia stops him, pulls the chair away, and then Jericho gets a psycho knee for his troubles. And as Bryan Danielson leaves, he laughs at Daniel Garcia for being such a fool.
I thought Garcia was great here. His facial expression, this like confused kind of like, ooh, was good. And he's not going to make it. Jericho's going to beat the shit out of him at some point. And next week they're in Buffalo, and that's his hometown. And Tony Khan loves doing things with wrestlers in their hometown. Wow. And he's fighting Yuta for the pure title next week on Dynamite. So something's clearly happening with Garcia. And the crowd, every crowd the last 3 weeks have been super into Garcia. Huge. Yeah. He's getting huge reactions.
I think this is a smart move to hold off and kind of put him back with Jericho a little bit, because then you could tell those stories like, listen, I love Chris Jericho. I've always loved Chris Jericho, and I just wanted him to be everything I thought he could be. I appreciated Chris Jericho, but he just can't hack it. Like after the hit with Danielson, he's like, I thought that's what I wanted to be, a sports entertainer because of Chris Jericho, but no, it's Bryan Danielson, all that, whatever. Yeah. I think that would be the way to go.
And this is what Jericho never did with Guevara, because Guevara's a little weenie ding dong, and they never had a feud with each other. Like Jericho, the logical transition here. Jericho singles match with Moxley, lost. Singles match with Danielson. Garcia he turns on Garcia, and now he has a feud with Garcia. Like, this is how you do it. He never did this with Guevara, and Guevara's just like swimming in a sea of ding dongs. He's not doing anything.
It almost feels like I just don't trust Jericho or Sammy. I feel like Jericho almost like picks people to stand by him that he knows he's going to outshine at least a little bit. You know, like the thing is like the inner circle of God bless Santana and Ortiz, but they weren't talkers then. And they kind of just faded. And when they were in the inner circle, they totally faded into the background. Same with Jake Hager. Same with Sammy Guevara has no personality. He needs someone big next to him in order to have anything, you know?
Yeah, but I think Garcia has more of a personality than all of those guys. It's kind of like a rugged, serious personality. But he stands out to me more than all of those. I mean, Sammy's moveset is obviously like shiny and exciting, but let me tell you, I think Daniel Garcia's personality is the best of all those guys.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm very excited for where he's going to come to, but he's not there yet.
Sure. No.
He's not there yet. No. But we get that, which is fine. Next up, we get something very strange. We see the wingmen out there. We got a snort. We got a snort. That's such a snort.
A roller coaster of emotions for me. Because at first, I loved it. For the first like 10 seconds, I loved it because I kind of love the wingmen because I love Jamie Drake and I love Peter Avalon. And even Cesar Bononi's like, fine. It's a funny guy to have with them. But then Ryan Nemeth started talking and I was like, I'm good.
Literally, you tap out when this dude starts talking. And they want respect, Roy. They're out there with picket signs. They want respect. Wingmen are out there kind of showing it. And then Peter Avalon talks, and usually he's a pretty bad talker on the mic. But this was good. Great. Short, simple, and he elongated all his words, which is smart. If you can't talk fast, talk really slow.
I also just love to see the wingmen because it's something different. We never see these guys. And like, this is going to end in a stupid way, but like, I love it.
But
fucking
then
Ding Dong comes out.
W. Morrissey comes out, and W. Morrissey, Ding Dong Morrissey is really funny.
Ding Dong Morrissey, Double D Morrissey,
and he takes everyone out.
Now I hate it. Now at this point, I'm hating this segment.
But while he's taking him out, honestly, it's a good beatdown. Dude is fire when he does it, and he is doing Wardlow's gimmick better than Wardlow. Literally, I was seeing it. I was just like, oh. I got a big giant guy dressed in jeans that just wants to kick ass. Who should have done that?
Yeah, the jeans part especially.
Instead we got super tight man bun. We got high school wrestling singlet. Here I come, Dad. I'm gonna show everyone. Like
in his nice clothes. Never wears jeans. Never seen him in jeans. Only dress pants.
Oh my God, what a maroon. Yeah. But then we get him beating up everyone. Yeah. Then Stokely comes out.
Now I love the segment again.
Stokely comes out and he hands a business card. Hands him a business card, and then they walk away. Tony Schiavone stops them on the ramp. Whoa, folks! Let's find out, Stokely, what's going on with these business cards? What do they mean? And then Stokely grabs Schiavone, says, "What do you want, Schiavone?" Like, I don't know what he said. He just, "Fuck you, Schiavone.
None of your business.
None of your business." And then Schiavone's just like, "Get the hell away from me," a little. And then he sees W. Morrissey and he backs off smartly.
Yeah.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
Next week, or maybe in a couple weeks, or a few months, maybe knowing AEW, a few months, Stokely's gonna finally say, "W. Morrissey, I want you to be in my
W. Morrissey's in his stable. It's official."
Oh wait, hold on. But he's gonna say that, and then all of a sudden, yo, it's me. It's Enzo Amore. He comes out, shuffling out, just like, if anyone's gonna watch my big guy, it's gonna be me. And it just comes out. It's gonna happen.
All right,
it's gonna happen.
I'm just gonna say yes to that. I
was trying to do that.
Oh yeah, it's been a long time since I've heard their theme. I like this. I think W. Morrissey managed by Stokely in a group where he's the big guy, he's the heater. I love it because it's the Ass Boys, it's W. Morrissey. There's a dog in the background. So
cute dog.
W. Morrissey, the Ass Boys, Ethan Page, and I don't know if there's anybody else yet, but he's putting together this group. And Stokely's fantastic, great talker.
Did he give a card to Lee Moriarty?
Lee Moriarty, right? So now we're at 5, and he needs one more though. He needs a Samoa Joe. Or he needs like a big guy, a guy who's gonna like do something.
W. Morrissey,
real.
you're saying?
No, I mean
W. Morrissey.
W. Morrissey's to
he's
me,
a giant.
He's
the biggest person in WWE.
I'm talking about big profile, like big
name,
a big name, a Samoa Joe, and Adam Cole.
I just kind of think that like not all of them need that. I would love for them to make W. Morrissey a big name, or make Lee Moriarty a big name,
or make Ethan Page a big name.
Sure.
I like Ethan Page.
I know you like Ethan Page, and I don't mind. It's just like he really does fade away. Like he doesn't have anything yet. Like he's got the glue, but he's got no pieces.
Yeah.
Just give him something that'll stick, you know?
Yeah. It's not
I'm really happy with what I just said there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down somewhere.
You should write it down.
Wow, we have a lot of comments here. Jesus Christmas. Jericho has had AEW on his back, and we are chipping away at the stone. Mose writes. Tony writes, Sammy is doing something. He is pissing off Mr. Kingston. Lol. It's true. It's a lot of fun to hear about.
Such a little wiener.
Apparently they buried the hatchet as of this afternoon. Brooklyn Bleak says personality better than Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Ange too. I'm saying that Jericho just kind of at the moment he can outshine them because they kind of look like him, and he's just louder, you know, because they're basically the same genre of wrestler.
Who?
2.0 and Jericho.
More of a showman, more of a sports entertainer, if you will.
Sports entertaining, but what, like they're very like they're sound wrestlers that are more about the noise. We got Brett saying, I love Pretty Peter Avalon. I was so excited to see him tonight. Didn't know where it was going besides the fact that they were going to get squashed, but I'm bummed it was Ding Dong. Ding Dong Morrissey.
Oh, Ding Dong.
Oh, Ding Dong. Do you have a Ding Dong sound effects? Damn, man. No, that's not Ding Dong.
Yeah, that's something.
Ding Dong. I'll get it. We got Tony writes, W. Morrissey did great on Impact. He has improved a lot. He definitely has.
He looks great. He really looks great. I like him in his little jeans. His name could use a little work. W. Morrissey. Don't know how I feel about it.
I like this one.
Ding dong in the ding dong. Ding dong dick.
There we go. That's what we want.
Dong.
That's the noise for anytime W. Morrissey comes in. Oh, here it comes.
Have you ever seen Cookie Monster auditioning for the Jimmy Kimmel show?
No.
He wants to be a writer, and all he can write is knock knock jokes. And Jimmy Kimmel asks him not to write a knock knock joke, so he goes, "Okay, ding dong." It's so funny. It's so funny.
That's really good, actually. That's very good. Good for Cookie Monster. Mose writes, Wingman on a go home. That's right. That's pretty surprising. Brett Pendleton says, I'm excited to see what this Stokely business is on Sunday.
Yes.
So we're finding out Sunday?
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit more on Rampage. Maybe they got to save something for next week.
Brooklyn says, somebody appreciated Eddie Kingston going after Guevara and gave him Tomohiro Ishii. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's going to be the match. That's fucking exciting.
It's really exciting. Yeah.
Joe writes, Wardlow did an interview recently talking about how the MJF situation killed his momentum and essentially said that it hurt his confidence. Very true. I read that same thing. And it sounds more like, honestly, MJF made that match much more important because of the things he was going through right now. I cared more
important for himself.
For the match. Like nobody knew what was going to happen. That was one of the biggest, that was the first match on the night. And I was excited to see what was going to happen. I kicked it off great.
Yeah. But like you weren't excited to see what's going to happen between MJF and Wardlow. You were excited to find out what happens if MJF's going to show up or not.
Yeah, but there's
did nothing for Wardlow. Wardlow got completely overshadowed by that whole thing. He did. And he even said, like, since I won the TNT title, I haven't done dick. I haven't done anything. And he's right. He hasn't done shit. So hopefully they can get through this 6-man. He can come out and start having a fucking feud with somebody. And we can stop doing title match after title match that means nothing. Let's go. It's not on Wardlow. Completely.
I blame Ward. I can a little bit. Brett says, man, Red, I hope so. I loved Enzo in WWE. Wish his in-ring personality didn't reflect his real life so well, though. Yeah, he's a piece of shit in real life. I don't know how much of a piece of shit, because honestly, like, it's a long thing.
People grow up.
People grow up. People change. From what I heard, that the allegations towards him did not materialize in any specific way. Like, I don't even think they were like there was evidence, but apparently there's absolutely none. Yeah. So that was the claim. I'm not saying anything, but I am saying though, man, did I that whole thing. Brett says I should stop talking, right, Roy? Brett says I just love an obnoxious mouthpiece. Of course, we all do.
Yeah, sure.
Tony writes
he has one. Stokely Hathaway.
Yeah, Tony writes Stokely should go see Powerhouse Hobbs. I think Powerhouse Hobbs over Ding Dong.
Maybe I think Powerhouse Hobbs could be that big name.
He's not as big as Ding Dong's bigger than him
physically,
but I think the name wise too.
In AEW.
In AEW, sure. We got Brooklyn Bleak said, felt that repetitive my name is crap from Enzo annoyed me like crazy. I never liked him. Stokely with Hobbs would be pretty good. I think that was pretty fun, but we have to keep going, Roy. We have to keep going. Rolling. Because we have Alex is in the back with United Empire and Don Callis is there. It was just a little interesting. I'm excited, just building up for the main event.
Yeah, Big Willie, pretty incredible. But we'll talk about that in the main event.
Yeah, we'll talk about that dude in a bit. We got Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Sheeta and Tony Storm. First off, right off the bat, why doesn't Sheeta get music?
Good point.
Why the hell didn't Sheeta get music?
Well, because they both came out as tag teams. But
they've never come out as a tag team before.
I agree. I completely agree. I completely agree with that. I do want to point out
it's insulting
that this was excellent placement on the card for this match. The women's match, I say this every week, I feel like, so this shouldn't be news to anybody. But the women's match doesn't always need to be the second to last segment on the show.
Yeah.
It can be smack dab right in the middle of the first hour, sandwiched
or it's opening
Bryan
the show.
Danielson and CM Punk. I think the thing is, they say that the women's matches, like the women's segments, are consistently the lowest rated. That's going to happen when people know the same week this is exactly when this is going to be, so I can go get popcorn. It's like the popcorn match. I know that the women's match is going to be like the second to last match before the main event, so I got to go do whatever I got to go do. If you change it up the way they changed it up tonight, it doesn't need to necessarily open the show. Like, let Moxley or Punk or Danielson open the show and then lead right in with a women's match. Because the women are great. This match was good. All of these women are interesting and exciting. To me, all of them are a little more interesting and exciting than Thunder Rosa, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I just feel like it's the fact that they're not on as often, and the fact that they just don't create interesting storylines for them. Like, it's all the ownership of the person talking at the moment, rather than any creative that I feel is there. But we have to keep moving on because we have to go right in. Oh, that match, that was a good match.
I thought it was a fun match. It was an interesting finish. Because
Sheeta getting the win with a spin kick.
Yeah. On the go-home shows, you always look at kind of the finish of the matches, and you're like, how does this determine what could happen at the pay-per-view? And, you know, historic WWE logic would tell us that Britt Baker is going to win the title at the pay-per-view because she ate the pin here.
I don't think so. I think
Toni Storm's gonna win?
Fatal 4-Ways neutralize that theory. I think 3-ways and those neutralize that theory, because then it really throws it up in the air. Yeah, but like, then should Sheeta take the pinfall? I think it's more likely that Sheeta just takes the pinfall for that night. Actually, so because like, whoever's winning, it's going to be either. I think it's going to be Toni Storm. I'm going to think it's Toni Storm or Jamie Hayter.
That would be fucking crazy if Jamie Hayter won. Jamie Hayter deserves it. She's a fucking workhorse. They all honestly deserve it.
Yeah, I'm thinking Jamie Hayter a little bit, because then they could tell that story with her and Britt and let that go on for a little bit.
Yeah, because
that's a good story to have with the title. You know, like, my protege just won the belt. I like that.
Yeah, I do too. And then, yeah, I think you're right. I think Sheeta was the person coming into this match with the least amount of momentum, so she needed to get the pin tonight, so then she can eat the pin on Sunday and have it mean something.
Yeah, and I like Toni Storm chasing. I think she hasn't even begun her chase yet, and I think it keeps eluding her, not from her fault. Like, she's going to take the pinfall on Sunday, and it's going to be because, like, you know, Britt helped Jamie win in some manner or something like that.
That's interesting. Really interesting. I would put the title on Toni Storm immediately, but that's just me.
We got Brooklyn Bleak said, felt that repetitive. Oh, no, we did that. Brooklyn Bleak says, WWE had Enzo beat Pac for the Cruiserweight title. Shake my head. It was great.
Well, AEW should do a classic WCW move like they used to do with Hogan, and bring in Enzo just so Pat can get his win back. You should beat the shit out of him and get his win back.
Hey, I'm fine with it. I don't want him to get wins. He doesn't have to get wins for me. Tony writes, good job catching up on the chat, Red. Thank you. I'm sweating. Tony writes, haha. Brett says, I swear to God, if Tony Storm doesn't win on Sunday, Hater, I don't think that's a bad idea. Brooklyn Bleak says, I like Tony Storm, but I'm hoping Hater pins Baker for the title. And Hater pins Baker. You think Hater's gonna pin Baker?
That's pretty crazy.
Tony writes, Hater's such a good worker. Yeah, I think let's go. I think I'm on the Hater train. I'm drinking some Haterade. Let's go.
I think Tony Storm should win, but I think something should happen with Hater and Baker that then launches Hater and Baker into a feud, because we've still never seen them wrestle each other, and I think it's time.
Yeah.
I think it's time.
And we got to keep going on here because here's something that I think you're going to like, Roy. Some exposition on Kip Sabian.
Yeah, I love it. Are you kidding? This is great.
So we got Kip Sabian. He's like, I'm a stickler for details, he says.
He's doing
this weird little thing.
Someone asked me the other day, they said, what's Kip Sabian? And I said, oh, he's a stickler for details. And they were like, oh.
Shut the fuck up. You look up the dictionary, stickler for details.
He's right there.
He's right there.
With a box on his head.
And he's asking everyone to embrace the change. So the thing is, here's my issue here, Roy, right? Kip Sabian, right? I haven't seen him. Haven't actually seen his face on TV in, I don't know, 2 years. What is it? Like, it's been a long time.
At least yeah.
At least his real face. This is
really
the first time.
Since like Miro debuted, pretty much.
And so he's here. And he's talking about the change he's taken. He hasn't explained anything. I'm not sure what he was doing with the box on his head. They never explained that. None of this makes sense. He's like, you fell for the oldest trick in the book. I wasn't in the box. Like, why were you in the box in the first place? Like, there was never explained. It's so confusing. And whatever, I guess, right? He's talking, which is fine. But it's just like, this made no sense.
I didn't expect a giant payoff here. I didn't expect a giant payoff.
What were you hoping? Just to get Kip on TV?
Well, see, I don't know. Like, that's the thing. It's like, the idea of having someone in the crowd with a box on their head for over a year is really exciting, because, like, you could pay that off in a big way. But then you think, well, it's Kip Sabian, so they're not going to pay it off in a big way. So you will just see what happens. And him against Pac is cool. I mean, that's a good match. I'm excited about it.
Well, I'm too, I guess. Tony writes, I say Hater wins and DMD gets jealous. I agree. I'm on that same boat.
Jealous.
Turb says, I was sitting right behind the Kip decoy last week. Were you?
Oh,
Turbs,
shit.
we have to find you. The decoy took so many pictures with so many people. Lol. That's pretty funny. Mose writes, Kip's eyeliner cannot win, but we'll give him a chance. I like the eyeliner.
I love the way he looks right now. I think he looks
I'm digging it. Tony writes, that Kip hairstyle.
I wish I had that hairstyle. Come on.
That's all right.
Yeah,
Everyone should shave their head bald, I'm telling you. It's the way of the future. It's the way of the future. Next up, we get a Miro in the back.
This made no sense.
The spookiest room. He's like, God, you're a coward.
He's like, two people slapped me in heaven, and now they slap people in hell too, or something.
I have no idea what that meant.
No clue.
He lost his mind. But Darby's there too.
He's been watching
and
some
he
Bray
says
Wyatt promos.
The house is gonna burn with you in
he
it.
made an interesting point that, like, he's like, look at all that Brody accomplished without you, Malachi. They don't need you. You need them. So he's trying to, like, sow seeds of deceit.
And to cap it all off, we get Sting saying, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. It's showtime now. What is wrong with you?
Sting.
Dude losing his goddamn mind.
I love it.
What do we got? Joe writes, the box in on his head, sitting in the crowd and not being mentioned thing proves Khan has way too much money to be spending on this crap.
What does that prove, Kip. Joe? What are you saying?
He said that it proves that Tony has too much money because he's playing with this crap.
It's disrespectful.
Brooklyn Bleak says that Kip Sabian decoy had a match on Dark and got beat up hard. They used him for this. Brett says, Red and I are bald boys. Let's go. That's right, Brett. Churbs and I are bald boys. Let's rub our heads together. Brett says it's Sting. And Mose writes, Darby will turn on Sting. Mark it. Brooklyn Bleak says Darby will turn on Sting. What?
When?
Mose?
On Sunday?
Because
I'm ready for that too.
I want Sting to turn on Darby.
Yeah, that's more interesting.
Join the House of Black. Be a spooky Sting.
I think what if the House of Black also turned on Malachi? And it's the House of Sting.
You would love that. Brooklyn Bleak says Miro tapping on his inner Ultimate Warrior for these nonsensical promos. Lol. Yeah, this was a weird one. This was a weird one. And thank you all so much for liking. I didn't even ask you all to like, and they were liking in the almost dozens. In the almost dozens. In the almost dozens. I would love for it to be a dozen.
Or almost dozens.
Almost dozen. Great. We've really labeled ourselves.
Rocking and rolling, baby.
We're not done though. Punk's angry.
Oh, yeah.
Punk's sad.
Yeah, here we go. Now
Punk comes out, and he's grumpy.
He's grumpy.
Is he grumpy?
He's sad.
JR says that he looks unwell.
This guy looks like shit.
Starts talking, and then he's just like,
"Why are you yelling at me?
Why are you yelling? Oh, God damn it! Whenever I want it.
Oh, son of a! Why are you yelling at me? Why are you yelling at me?
But we get CM Punk coming out, and he's talking about something with 16 times. He said something 16 times, and he's just like, which is 16 more times than you did
in his plate. He got 16 screws in his foot. And then I guess some fat guy in the crowd, was like yelling at him.
And then he turned on him.
Yeah, and then he did a Ric Flair, and he was like, "Hey, fat boy, I'm going to screw your mama tonight."
That was not cool, Punk.
Yeah, and then Punk said, "I probably shouldn't have said that. You're right, Punk. You shouldn't have. It's 2021.
There's probably a lot of things I shouldn't say, and that really it worked great. Honestly, I loved it. I really did.
This is good. This is all good.
And then he comes back. Maybe he came back too early. Yeah, his foot's 100%, but what is this new 100%?
Right.
You know, it's a new 100%.
It's a new 100%.
And he feels like he let everyone down, and maybe he's just not enough.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Ace Steel has other plans. He comes out.
Captain David Steele comes to the ring.
Steele comes out, and he's just like, what the fuck is this? The fuck is this shit?
At first, I was like, oh, God.
I thought it was bad at first.
Well, because it's like another inside thing. Like, no one knows who this guy is. But when he's like, I'm Ace Steel, and I trained this guy, it's like, oh, thank you. Thank you for telling us who you are.
Rather than depending on the announcers. And then once he did that, everything clicked.
Yeah.
And then he's just like fired up. He's just like, you want to be, you're the one who told me this. I'm going to quote you on this. It's not how many times you fall down. It's how many times you fucking get back up. Slaps him in the fucking face, cracks him. He says fucking get back the fuck up or whatever he says. You heard that, right?
No, I didn't hear that.
Oh, he F-bombed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Ace Steel F-bomb, and dude is fired. They just said, watch your language. Warner Brothers just like, hey, guys, we love the product, love it, but if you say one more fuck bomb again, I'm going to lose it. Cut the deal. And Ace Steel is gone.
Ace Steel
absolutely
ruins
fired.
it. AEW loses their TV contract because of Ace Steel.
Ace Steel ruins wrestling forever. So... yeah, that happened, and it fires him up. He gets all intense. He hands him that contract, and CM Punk's like, "Oh, should I sign it?" Runs into the crowd. I'm gonna sign it. He signs it for the crowd.
I was born at this hospital, blue in the face, cord around my neck. They've been trying to kill me since day one, which I think is so interesting. Like, it didn't.
It was the best babyface Punk promo I've ever seen.
Yeah, so. That's a tough one.
Because I don't count the pipe bomb as
really good.
I don't count the pipe bomb as a babyface.
The babyface promo he cut with MJF
that was
good, but
blurred to me.
I would say that this was great, but it didn't feel. It felt a little the whole thing as a piece felt slightly disjointed because it was just like, I'm sad. Ace Steel's mad at me. Now I'm pumped up. Like, there was no like moment in his head where it like clicked. Like, he got really angry and then hugged Ace Steel. He should have just like gotten sad, thought about it for a second, looked at Ace, hugged him, and then pushed him to the ground, grabbed the mic and been like, I'm fucking CM Punk, you fuckers, and then done his thing.
Honestly,
what he said, what he did was great. Going through the fucking crowd and signing the contract in the crowd, like all of that was fucking great. I got chills. I got chills consistently throughout this. He's fucking great.
it's not. I don't blame CM Punk for that. It's Ace Steel fucking slapped him too early. Because the thing is, because once someone hits you, that's your time to get fired up. What is he going to do? Like hit them and then he just starts crying. I let everyone down. I let everyone down. You go fire up. He
let
hit
his dog
him
down
immediately. He hit him as soon as so CM Punk had no option just to get fired up, you know?
Well, good for Ace Steel.
Yeah, wailed on him, smacked the shit out of him. Brooklyn Lee says, "Oh yeah, he dropped a huge F-bomb." Lol.
I missed it.
Mo's writes, Punk baby sweetens the turn with MJF at All Out. Yeah.
That's the whole thing, is that if you can't have MJF debut now, you just can't do it because especially if you're going to do a turn and Punk's going to become a heel, you got to get Punk that baby face reaction in Chicago. And then turn him at the end of the night, like they did with Austin and Houston at WrestleMania 17.
Yeah, it'd have to be at the end. Why would it be earlier?
I was talking about doing it tonight because there was I had some thoughts in my head of like, man, let's fucking make it out. MJF comes out, they do the whole thing tonight. No.
Honestly, I don't see it happening at All Out. I see it happening this Dynamite.
Yeah, that could also be too. Yeah,
they're more into ratings right now. They are more into ratings right now.
Yeah.
They want their ratings. Great show. But yeah, very good moment. Very good moment. Then we get JR having a sit down with Jungle Boy and Christian Cage.
Yeah, this kind of went over my head. I don't remember a lot.
You didn't absorb it because there was nothing really in it. Christian Cage, says some stuff about Christian, about the whole thing. He's like, I hate you. I used you for the money, blah, blah, blah. Jungle Boy starts to try to have some sense of it. He's like, I kind of did look to you as like someone I loved. I loved you, and you filled a spot for me, right. Referencing his dad, he's just like, and he kind of ruined it. And now I'm really pissed at you for it, which I like, but he's not very believable. At the end of it, he did say this. He's like, no, you won't be facing Jungle Boy at the pay-per-view. You're going to be facing Jack Perry, which was
Love
good.
it. Love that.
We needed that. New gear.
Some new gear, Jack.
Look like a fucking as badass as you could look with that hair.
Right. Is Sideshow Bob hair?
Honestly, what do you do? You can't
I know.
Honestly, he looks like you can't give him a haircut because then he's a heel.
Right.
You could never cut that hair.
Straighten it.
You can't
straighten it. He's a heel too.
You straighten it and then he sweats and starts poofing up. And the match is just getting frizzier and frizzier. That'd be very funny. He should get a perm.
Like, what's the Addams Family? Was it
Cousin
the one
It.
that's just like,
He's
Cousin It.
Yeah. That's how he sounds too.
Yeah, and Christian can't hear him. He's trying to call spots. He can't hear him.
Now we get oh my god. If this is the start of what trios matches are going to look like, sign me up. FTR and Wardlow versus someone.
Whoa, I'm a little upset about this trios match because they put the last real man, Silas Young, in this trio of jobbers.
Silas Young was in there?
Yeah, you didn't even notice. Yeah.
I didn't even hear them announce who was in it.
He didn't take the pin, and that's really the only person who was in this match was the guy who took the pin.
I like Silas Young.
I like Silas Young too.
But yeah, FTR and Wardlow is just so unlikable.
You think so?
Unlikable. Like the more and more, like there's things that he does as a person that make me think he's just a bad guy. Like he gives the power bombs, and you could tell he's upset that FTR are in the ring with him because he's looking. Because it killed his momentum. Like it was just look weird. They're just standing around doing nothing, and the crowd is not reacting the same way they would usually with Wardlow because they're also like, "Oh, look, it's powerbomb!" It just threw it off, and he looked frustrated. And then he does the second one, and he fucking stomps his fucking foot on that guy's chest. Not even just places it, stomps it on the chest hard, and gets the pin count. And then after that, so they could pose in the ring, he starts kicking the guy to get out of the ring. Just stand over them. Stop being such a dick. It's so unlikable and so disgusting. Like, and then him talking about like, it really took the moment away from me when MGF made my match the most important one on that show. It really ruined the momentum.
It was
for
not
me,
the most important match on that show.
It was one of because
CM
of
Punk Hangman was the most important match on
because of MGF. It was on par.
Yeah, sure. It was interesting. It was the most interesting.
It was the two most look forward to matches for myself.
Sure. Of course.
One of two. And I can't say that. Honestly, I was more excited about that match anyway than the Punk Hangman. Because I knew, I felt like I knew he was going to win Punk Hangman, you know? MJF, I was, didn't know.
Who knew?
Mo says, I don't say this lightly. FJR on this promo with the Jungle Boy thing. Tell me why. I'd like to hear more. Joe writes, you'll be facing Jungle Man. Lol. He should have said that. Brett says, I think Roy coined the phrase Jungle Man.
Jungle Man.
Brett says, why are Wardlow and FTR even here together anyways? Yeah, it's
Pinnacle.
Stupid. Fuck it. That's so dumb. That's so, you're not dumb. I'm not saying you're dumb. Hold on.
I know you're not saying I'm dumb. I know you're
record scratch.
One eternity later.
Not the record scratch.
That's good. I'm not saying you think I'm dumb. I'm saying that's why they're together, because they're.
But that's so
friends.
weak. That's such weak. That's weak. And honestly, they don't feel like they're in the same team. They feel like they'd be like making fun of Wardlow at the bar. They'd see Wardlow come in with his fucking satin shirt unbuttoned to his navel with his man bun and just like lean against the bar. Like I would make fun of. And then FTR drinking beers, like, see this? They'd probably say some unsavory language. Just my thought process.
I don't know. They're pretty forward thinking.
No, I'd say they'd say it unsavory, but they're so allies. They're such allies that's done in jest.
Yeah,
I half expect Dax to be by. Keep moving on.
Wait,
Brett says,
I would think Cash before Dax, but that's. Yeah.
I don't know. Something about Dax's leather daddy look. Dude's wearing shit. Brett says the team didn't make sense a few weeks ago, and it doesn't make sense now. True.
Y'all just forgot about the Pinnacle, huh? That's fine.
Joe writes, Wardlow feuding with MJF made us love him. No MJF and lose all interest. Proves how great MJF is. And it also proves how not very special Wardlow is.
It's just not
Wardlow is so replaceable. Wardlow is so replaceable.
Wardlow is the type of cat who would be much more special in the WWE because they know how to book dudes his size and his ability. AEW doesn't, they look at their top guys, both homegrown and guys that they've acquired. They're all guys that can go.
Imagine
they don't know what to do with a guy like that.
Imagine if they gave the Wardlow spot to Powerhouse Hobbs. What a beautiful world that would be. Because Powerhouse Hobbs would have been able to capitalize on it. He knows how to capitalize in the ring. He has a good sense of timing. He's unique. Wardlow is just yesterday's trash. I'm so sorry.
It sounds crazy. It does. But let's say Wardlow fights let's say Powerhouse beats Ricky at the pay-per-view. And then on Dynamite, Powerhouse, coming off a win against Ricky, fights Wardlow and beats Wardlow in like 2 minutes. Just kills him. And then Wardlow goes away. And we get these series of vignettes about Wardlow. And like whatever it is, like Wardlow has to come to terms with who he is, and he's trying to be something that he isn't. And it's not just like training videos, but it's like him going back home and like, let us get to know who Wardlow is. And he's like, my name's not Wardlow, it's David Wardlow or whatever. And he's like, I'm gonna go by that from now on. I'm gonna be myself. I'm done trying to be something that I'm not. And he comes back and he's just wearing fucking jeans and he's a construction worker, like something like. I would like to see him go away, but I don't want to see him fully go away. I want to see him go away, and then I want to be part of his voyage back to the ring.
I don't think you understand. I think I get it now, Roy. I think I get it. Because we want him just to go back and be a regular person, be himself. Yeah. And what we have right now is who he is, and we don't like it.
Maybe. I hope not.
I think he likes wearing this gaudy-ass fucking clothing, and he has that god-awful haircut, and he wears those stupid fucking trunks.
I'm fine with the haircut. I hate everything else, but I'm fine. Like, if he came down to the ring wearing a cut-off leather vest and blue jeans with that haircut, fine.
I just think it doesn't suit his fucking head. I have no problem to the people that have that haircut. He just looks like a weenie. Hassan writes...
Hey, Hassan's here.
Oh, Hassan's here. Hi, Hassan. Brett says first, Wardlow isn't good enough on a mic to be pushed as hard as he is. He's a physical specimen, and that's it.
He's not that bad on the mic.
Hassan says, hi there.
Hello.
We're happy to say hi to you, too. Here's some Legos.
Hassan, always happy to hear from you.
Mose writes, the TNT belt only belongs to one, Miro, period. Miro did a lot. Honestly, the only good championship that people have actually been very successful with, I think, is the TNT title. The only championship in AEW that I think has actually felt more consistently. I guess John Moxley's reign. John Moxley's reign as the world champion. I feel like John Moxley's and Kenny Omega. I think Hangman. I'm just mad at Hangman's, I guess. But Joe writes, Powerhouse Hobbs for Wardlow's spot. Yes, please. Wardlow gives off Goldberg vibes. Me no likey. I agree. And he writes, poor man's Batista. And that's good.
Interesting. Really interesting. Yeah, he needs a little work. They need to rework him a little bit.
There has to be some tweaking. And now we're at Moxley comes out again, and he's excited for All Out.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm going to fucking kill you.
And kills it. He does an amazing job.
Yeah, he's the best.
Does an amazing job.
He's the fucking best.
He really is. Honestly, he
is the heart and soul of the company. He is.
And I wouldn't have said it before he left for rehab. Because honestly, I remember him before then, and just like, yeah, he was fine. And I just felt he was
losing
fine.
His place, though. He was losing his place in the company.
And he just looked like he was losing his fire, losing his eyes, losing his and obviously because he was dealing with stuff. But now, like that, he's got he's on point.
He has had. This is his best year in AEW, even though he was champ before and had all these great matches with all these different opponents and Eddie and Kenny and MJF and all these guys. Brody. Like, he wrestled all these great guys throughout the pandemic, and he carried the company through the pandemic. This is his best year. Yeah. Between Blackpool Combat Club, getting the title back, this Punk thing, fucking just the man. He's the man. He's the man.
Very happy for Mox. Brooklyn Bleak writes, Wardlow has Goldberg's ring intro, too. He better go back to the moves that doesn't fit his build. No. I think that's the bad way to go. Going to moves that don't fit his build. I have... my theory on this, the Brian Cage thing. If you're able to do everything and you don't win, you're an absolute worst wrestler in the world.
Yeah.
If no, right?
Stiff. That's
no, but like
stiff.
if Brian Cage faces Jungle Boy and he does everything Jungle Boy could do and looks and is as strong as him
big power bombs
and loses, he is a waste of life. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I agree with you. I don't disagree.
Mose writes, Orange Cassidy needs all belts.
I would like to see Orange Cassidy with either the all international title, so he could travel to different parts of the world. And
so he could represent wherever. Brett says, yes. Hanger didn't wrestle enough for the title. Hanger. Hangman didn't wrestle enough for the title.
Hanger.
And when he did, it was against. People. It was against Stinky Lance Archer with Jake the Snake in his corner, and it was a loser title ring.
He also fought Cole a couple of times.
Yeah,
he also fought Danielson a couple of times.
Yeah, and
he had great matches against these guys.
He did. It was just the story sucked, and the only reasons they didn't were because of Danielson. And everything else sucked, and even his promos beforehand, they're just everything was blah. Joe writes, getting sober really did him wonders. Yeah, and we could all be thankful for that. Let's give a wow.
Wow.
Top 10 comeback of all time.
That's number 6, right?
Yeah, it's number 6 or number 7, yeah.
I was rewatching it recently.
Really?
Good job, Joy. Good job, Roy. Give it up for Roy's top 10s. I like those top 10s. I think they're a big hoop. Then we get Tony is in the back. Oh, no, we get forgot this match. Evil Uno is in the back with 10. 10 is injured. He's like, I'll take your spot. Don't worry about it. And then Andrade comes and offers to buy them. And then they beat up Uno and tase 10. 10 didn't realize the tase noise was there. Yeah. So he just sat there and waited.
That was so good.
That was really funny. The tase noise was really funny.
So funny.
So they're knocked
Uno.
out. Uno's knocked out. And he's dead from that.
They didn't even need to do this. Like, you didn't need to have Uno just get beat up with a crutch. Like, you could have just jumped right to Hangman. You didn't need to, like, throw salt in Uno's wounds.
Or it could have been, like, something with Danhausen because they're facing the best friends, right? And Danhausen, like, curses him, and then he literally slips on a banana peel or something.
Right.
Like, having something like that. Really, if you're going to bury Evil Uno, really do it.
Yeah, they really go for it. Yeah.
Right. Next up, we get Dante Martin versus Roosh versus Phoenix versus Yuta. And Yuta wins. What are your thoughts on this?
I thought this was a lot of fun. I mean, it's one of those train wreck, like, it's just going to be a lot of fun. It's just it's a party match. And that's really what you should be doing here. I think this is the better way to go about booking Dynamite. Don't put the women's match in this segment. You put a party match in this segment, and you put the women's segments in the first hour of the show. Like, give me your one women's match of the night in an important part of the show, right in the middle of the first hour between all of your top performers. And then you get guys like Phoenix and Roosh and Dante, like all these guys that fly and have a lot of fun. The crowd loved this match. It was a party match. That will keep people's attention as it starts to wane. Like, oh, people are going to jump around. And ultimately, at the end of the day, if everybody's going to tune off for 15 minutes, let them tune off during this and not during the women.
I have no problem with honestly, this was a good match and it didn't hurt the main event, but typically these type of matches before a main event hurt the main event. It didn't because you got like people in there like United Empire and the Elite in there, so they could definitely keep up. But that being said, having this big of a car crash right before the main event, and then you've got Danielson and Dustin Rhodes that are going to be in a classic, something like that. It would hurt it.
I understand.
I'm just a fan of like put a comedy match there, put a squash there, like put like something light there. That's what I like.
I get that, and I respect that, and I tend to agree with you. But I think what we've learned, Turby, is that the AEW audience doesn't get tired easily. They're not like, oh, here's a party match, and then here's the main event. Like, oh, it's too much. People want as much as they can get. Like, if you, I keep going back to this, but like, oh, there goes my light. I keep going back to this like Punk Moxley match from last week, and how if you do that segment, that exact match in WWE, the WWE audience doesn't even sneeze at it. They run with it. They go along with it. They love it. But if you do that match for an AEW audience, everyone's fucking outraged because they're like, I expected a big match. Like I expected, 25-minute fucking classic. But instead you got storyline. And I think that's great. I think it's great. I think what they did last week was great, but it disappointed the live crowd, which tells me that the live crowd can't get enough of like big party fun matches.
But there's no, I'm saying like you could always fix that at the end. Like there's always a dark match they could have on to have the crowd going home happy. Like I don't think it has to be great, like a great ending for the live show, because live shows could still go on a little bit. But for the TV show, I think like having like a lull, apex is the best for watching.
For like someone at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have some comments here. Brett says Hanger sucks now. He's regulated to Dork Order activities and wrestled on Dark in 2 months.
Brett, you're
Turbs.
wrong. You're
and
wrong.
In my hater era, that's what Turb says. Mose writes, Uno was jet lagged from Germany. Possibly. Joe writes, people will care about AEW women's wrestling the moment Khan does. I agree with that.
That's fair. It's a fair statement.
Mose writes, Roosh, not Ruby. Rush, not Ruby. Roosh. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Mose.
Hey.
But either way, we have this one more piece right here. We got before we get to the main event. Tony Schiavone's in the back with Silver and Reynolds.
Yeah, this is good.
And then they're like, it's sort of good. I wish it was more of a surprise, like you mentioned. But essentially, Silver and Reynolds are like, yeah, even if we don't have someone to tag with us, because Evil Uno was punched to death. And,
he was hit by a crutch.
He was hit once, and then he's dead forever. And so, like, we might have to face, go for the trios titles as a tag. And then Adam Hangman Page comes over. He's just like, listen, I got your back, friends. Let's do this.
Incredible. And what really pissed me off about this segment though is the end. So Hangman says that, And Silver's reaction is like, well, we don't make the rules around here, so we got to check and make sure it's okay. And then like 2 seconds later, it was announced. So like maybe you guys should have just been like, wow, thanks, Hangman. Cool. And then just
honestly,
moved on.
I wish he just said something like, that just gave me chills. That just gave me chills. Like something like fun. Do something funny. Yeah. But like just saying the Booker line was more like weenie.
Yeah.
You're not a weenie. You're not a weenie dog. You're like you're a hilarious meat man.
You're hungry.
You're hungry.
This is it. Fucking Brett, you don't know what you're talking about. Hangman hasn't done anything. Hanger is gonna have this 6-man at the pay-per-view, and it's gonna rule. It's gonna be incredible. And you know what?
Why are you yelling at me? Why are you yelling at me?
Dark Order's gonna win. Dark Order's gonna beat Kenny and the Bucks.
Maybe. But we're here at the main event, Roy. We made it to the promised land. United Empire versus the Elite. As they're coming out, Justin Roberts, when Kenny's coming out, Justin Roberts starts announcing him and just starts basically eviscerating Will Ospreay, and just saying things like, oh, well, he's been #1 merchandise seller in both USA and Japan against Will Ospreay, and they're just saying all the things that against Will Ospreay, and which is fun. And it goes to show that honestly, the whole thing with Will Ospreay is a work, and it's always been a work. Yeah, the cease and desist was a work. Yeah, it's a work.
And this whole tournament has literally just been an opportunity for the Bucks and Kenny to wrestle the people that they want to wrestle.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Both last week and this week.
But Will Ospreay and Kenny start, and
which
I love, and it was a great match. I think Kenny is like getting up to speed again.
He's there.
Yeah, I think he's even like he's practically there. I think he's like just a smidge away from being exactly where he was. But like he's right up there. He's right
wrestling
up there.
Smarter now than he used to. Like I think intellectually, like he's always wrestled smart, but like he's letting Ospreay do all the flips, and Kenny's being like the cagey, wily veteran who's like, you can do all your flips. I'm just gonna move out of the way and crush you.
He just has to get used to that, you know?
Yeah.
Once he gets more comfortable with that, he's going to be unstoppable. Yeah. But great match. He rips off Kenny's athletic shirt, which I thought was great. That was a really good move. Because I was saying at the start of this, wrote it down. Kenny should have a full bodysuit like Jushin Liger.
Yeah.
You know, a full bodysuit.
Idea.
Which I thought would have been pretty cool. But this makes sense for that. They rip it off, and you get a good moment of just being like, oh, I'm worried about his health, you know, because we are.
Well, what's interesting, I had heard good old Brian Alvarez say that like the idea is that each week he's going to have a new piece of armor removed because he's a little healthier. And then you heard on commentary today, Excalibur's like, last week he had a shoulder brace on. Looks like he's no longer wearing the shoulder brace. And then in the match today, Ospreay took off his shirt. So I think at the pay-per-view on Sunday, he'll no longer be wearing a shirt. But he'll probably still have like the guard and the tape and all that stuff.
Want to kill him to get a tan too.
I think that's really funny. He was pale as a ghost.
He's been outside a little bit. A few too many video games.
They only spray tan. They never actually do real tans. Him and the Bucks.
I get that.
Spray tan. There's a hilarious Being the Elite segment where like Kenny's like, "You guys want to see it?" And he turns around and he's got a spray can hanging out of his pants, and then they spray each other with spray tan. It's great. They have a spray tan party, and like music's playing, and they're dancing and spray tanning each other.
Honestly, it makes me physically ill.
It's weird, but it's good.
Honestly, that's the reason I can't be in wrestling. I had to touch it. I had to be near it. Couldn't deal with it.
You wouldn't want to go to a tanning bed.
Oh, I'll go pale. I'm wearing dog. I'm wearing long tights. I'm going a singlet first off. Yeah, singlet and long tights, or
like
maybe
Bret
just
Hart
a singlet
style singlet,
or maybe like a I don't know, Taz. I got tree trunks for legs.
Yeah, and, so you got to show those legs off.
I don't know. They're
shooter boots.
I'll go as what is his name? Bruiser Bruckhammer. What's his name? The freaking guy. Bully.
Bruiser Bedlam.
Bully something. What's his name from NXT years ago? Bully Dempsey.
Bull Dempsey.
I'll wear Bull Dempsey's gear. Yeah. Or Bear Creek or Bear Mountain. That's it.
Bear Bronson.
Bear Bronson. All right. I've jabbered enough. We get V Trigger for the win. Kenny Omega winning it. Great match.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, this is what the trios titles are going to be about, or matches like this, and it's great.
Knock on wood.
Last week's match was fucking awesome too. Yeah, of course. It was great. I'm excited. I'm excited for these.
I'm excited.
Matches.
I'm excited.
And it went from questioning like, man, there's going to be 3 trios matches on this show. Only one are for the titles, and like the one for the titles doesn't feel like the most important. But if they get Hangman, Silver, and Reynolds versus Kenny and the Bucks, that's important, and that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's going to be exciting. I'm excited for the pay-per-view. We're all excited. We have some comments here. Oh, excuse me. Brett says Dark Order isn't capable of doing anything fun in a promo or match. Whoa,
Man,
Turbs.
What's going on here, Turbs?
Then Turbs writes. Then Turbs says that's why they botched the end of the promo. Wow, I got the hiccup. Sorry, guys. Hanger fits right in with the Dark Order. Boring, old, tired acts with nothing new or fun to show. This is my heel turn. This is my heel turn. Hammer is my baby face. Oh my God.
You got that right. I'll defend Hanger till my grave. It's my guy.
Mose writes, what's the secret reveal Sunday? Is there a secret reveal Sunday?
There's always some kind of secret reveal, I guess.
What do you think it's going to be?
I don't know. That Ring of Honor has a TV deal.
Is there supposed to be a secret reveal? Brett says, Will Ospreay is so good. I am so patiently awaiting him being featured on AEW television more regularly. I will wait forever for it. Yeah, very exciting.
Really fucking great in every match he's had in the company. He's
doing a great job.
Really great. Really.
Him versus Orange, amazing.
Was amazing. Really.
Joe writes, best pale wrestlers.
Oh.
Danielson, then Sheamus. Like, he's just writing some out.
Yeah, there's some
actually
good pale
best
wrestlers.
We should do best pale wrestlers.
That's a hard one.
But that's a layer.
You know who
I
makes
think
that
that's
list. Sandman.
Sandman when? Because ECW 2008 Sandman is spray tan to the gills. He is orange.
Original Sandman.
No, we have to go with someone who's a little bit more pure than him. Yeah. We can't have these lapses in judgment.
Foley was pretty pale.
Foley's pretty pale. Foley's never had his hand. But we have to go through that. That sounds fun.
That's an interesting one. Best pale wrestlers.
Good idea, Joe. And thank you all so much for joining us. This has been Loser Leaves Wrestling.
Yeah, well, before we go, Red, I just want to take a second to have an in memoriam segment. I want to take a minute to shout out S and Joe and Chica Marks and Doug and anyone I'm forgetting. Today, we officially laid to rest. Meta Sun Bro. Yeah, we have to officially lay to rest the LLW Patreon. It's been a wild ride, y'all. It's been a wild ride, but everything's free. We're a show for the people.
We're a show for the people.
Money from anybody.
We're a show for the people
doing things.
Yeah, we really do. Honestly, I feel like if I wasn't losing money, where would I be right now?
What would we be doing?
What would I be doing if I wasn't just bleeding myself dry? Let's go. Joe writes, Sandman, how about someone who's actually good? Come on, Joe.
Come on, Joe.
That's fair, though.
Come on.
Brooklyn Bleak says Hikaru Shida versus Emi Sakura. Dante Martin versus AR Fox and Blake Christian. Got a special ring intro like he was signed. Good matches on Dark and Elevation this week. Oh,
Blake Christian is signed.
Is he?
Blake Christian is signed. Yeah, but like more, he's going to be Ring of Honor. When Ring of Honor goes full time, he's going to be part of the Ring of Honor roster.
God bless. But we have to get out of here. We have to get out of here. Thanks all for joining us. Here's something for you. Here's something for you. Here's something for you.
I'm about to go down to Taco Bell and give me a blast.
Ole. Ole.